Hey everyone, it's Tyler from Zephyr Epic here, and welcome to our first look at the brand new 2024-25 Upper Deck Series 1 Hockey Hobby Boxes. We are doing a full 12-box case for you to give you kind of what your first look is on the product. It is definitely a bit of a different format this year in terms of insert cards. There's 3 kind of technically extra Young Guns per box this year, so pretty excited to dig into it. And overall, it's honestly a pretty strong rookie crop. I know a lot of people were a little bit skeptical of it, but I actually think it's very decent. You've got 2 really good headliners in Lane Hutson and Logan Stankoven. You've got some sleepers in Bradley Nadeau. I really like him. I think Frank Nazar is going to sell well as well. You got Jesper Wallstedt, who's one of my favorite goalie prospects, and just a lot of really good depth guys. So we're digging into the case here because, yeah, we're just going to do a full-on case here. And also, if this video gets 100 likes, we'll upload a second case because that'll be kind of fun. So yeah, anyways, if you are interested in picking up a box, we will have a link in the comment or in the description below for that. But yeah, here's your first look at the boxes. They got the nice little McDavid trifecta on it. This case has definitely seen better days, so I kind of grabbed this one just for YouTube because, you know, it's got a little bit mangled, but it is what it is. All right, so yeah, like I mentioned, we're gonna do a full case here. I am pretty excited for this. I actually really like this Young Gun crop. I think it is, again, a little bit better than what people expected it to be, myself included. I think it was going to be solid. I just didn't know if they would hold 1 or 2 players back. But Series 2 could be relatively strong again between Celebrini, between Will Smith. There's a lot of really, really good players that can fit in there. So yeah, I think they did the right call in just stacking this as best they could with the rookies that they had. And all right, let's get into the first box here. And in terms of the actual format, it is still 12 cards per pack, 12 packs per box, similar to last year. But in terms of your box on average, you get 8 aimbot, checkpoint, city satellites, and or UD portrait cards per box, 6 Young Gun cards, 6 gaming co-op, field of view, PvP, and or XP cards, 4 UD canvas and or canvas Young Guns cards, 3 A-lines and or breaking news cards, 3 Young Guns renewed cards. These are kind of the Young Guns with a different background in them. 1 base set Outburst Silver Parallel, either a veteran or a Young Gun, 1 Blue Dazzlers, 1 aimbot, checkpoint, city satellites, and or UD portrait speckle parallel card, 1 gaming co-op, FOV, PvP, and or XP speckle parallel card, 1 base set clear cut parallel, UD canvas black and white parallel, gaming co-op, FOV, PvP, XP blue parallel card, and or pink dazzlers card, and 1 numbered card, ratio short print card, or printing plate per box. So a guaranteed of a numbered card per box is kind of nice to see. And then in terms of your case break, on average, you get 6 UD canvas Young Guns, 4 clear cut parallels, 3 veterans, and 1 Young Guns, 4 black and white canvas parallels, which is 3 veterans, 1 Young Guns, 3 gaming co-op, FOV, PvP, and or XP blue parallel cards, and then 1 pink dazzlers cards. That was an absolute mouthful. So let's get into the box. But yeah, it seems like whoever designed some of the insert sets was really into Call of Duty at some point. So I'm mainly just looking forward to this. One of the big chases in this is going to be the retro Young Gun Outburst. There are, I believe, 5 players in this: Nick Suzuki, Patrice Bergeron, Sergei Bobrovsky, Tim Stützle, and Connor McDavid. They all have base outbursts of their Young Gun design, which I think looks pretty cool, as well as the red and the elusive gold parallel. I'd be curious to see what they end up selling for because they're not true rookies technically. You know what? Let's do this old school style. Let's leave it 1 pack at a time here. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this. It is always fun opening up a new flagship. Always kind of like the good start of a hockey season. So right out of the gate, are these? Yeah, these are printed in Italy again. So worth noting that most of the flagship does come from Italy, but Trevor Moore. So here's your look at your base cards. Similar bottom to 2022-23, kind of that smoky, staticky parallel with the team colors on it. There's your back of the base cards. It's just been pretty standard looking base card for the past couple of years, but yeah, I'm not a big fan of the font choice if we're being really picky, but outside of that, it's fine. Sorokin, Voronkov, Luke Evangelista. I wonder if there's going to be any weird Easter egg cards. There's a Cylinder, And well, there's our first Young Guns Outburst reimagined, or not Outburst, Young Guns reimagined of Alexander Ovechkin. You get the funky little card art in the background. That's kind of cool. You know what? These are kind of cool. I don't know value-wise how they're going to do. I think day one, they're going to be really popular. And then over time, people realize that they're a little bit more common. But overall, pretty cool looking cards. And hey, there's a base Young Guns from this year right behind it. Let's go ahead and let's check that out. But yeah, I'm actually pretty stoked on that. That's a cool looking Ovechkin. And of course, my camera's like, no, let's not focus on it. All right, we're back, and now the camera's in focus. But yeah, these the Young Guns Renewed are pretty cool. And then you've got, I'm pretty sure the back is the exact same too, which is kind of cool. It's cool that they kept this as close to what it was as possible. These are really cool. There are parallels of these as well, so that'll be pretty popular. But hey, always cool starting off with Ovi. And here's a basic Young Guns. We have Brennan Othman here. So this is what the Young Guns design this year is. It's kind of like, I don't know, like a 2000, 2001 design with some like modern touches to it. It kind of, there's a little like hint of blue in here. I'm okay with it. It's not my favorite, but it exists. So, and then quality on them, first one, actually not a ton of noticeable edge chipping. I know Series 2 and actually Extended had a little bit of the issues where the edges would be particularly chipped up there. This one seems to be, it's a little bit down there if we're being, again, super picky. But Othman's actually one of the decent Young Guns to get in this set. I put him in a B tier, kind of like a should be or could be a top 6 forward type of dude. So, and then a checkpoint of Evander Kane. This is very foiled out, looks pretty nice. Probably will highlight players that do a lot of hidden. So yeah, anyways, that is the first pack. Some more base cards there. Overall, insert design seemed good. Those Young Guns Renewed, I actually really like the look of those. I was not sure what to think about them, but let me know your thoughts, because they're going to be one of the, I think, the more controversial cards of the set. There's a Luke Hughes and a canvas of Devon Taves. So there's the canvas. And what is this? A-lines. I think this is a speckle parallel for the Canucks, where we've got JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, and Brock Besser. So they're off to a bit of an interesting start. I don't know if this is speckle or not. I'd imagine that this is a speckle parallel. I don't know. It's got the speckle foiling to it, but yeah, overall, it's very glittery. It's kind of like a lot of broken ice shards. Again, I like when they use this type of foiling in the products, just because I think it is a pretty cool little format. And then we have a gaming PvP. So this is 2 players going up against each other, Malkin and Couturier. I wonder if the score clock's different on each one, but yeah, back these kind of look like. Malkin set up a 3rd period gold, while Couturier picked up a pair of helpers. So I would have liked if they were doing this set. I know it probably would have taken a little bit more like design wise, but putting the actual score from the game in here would have been pretty cool. So that is the next insert set, kind of just like what you can kind of expect to see from it. They're not my favorite cards, the gaming PvP one so far. Honestly, out of the ones that we've seen so far, my least favorite ones. Here's a sparkle checkpoint of Shakai. And you got that kind of like sparkly foil, which is always nice. And there we go. There's one of the big Young Guns you're looking for. A nice Logan Stankoven for the Dallas Stars. One of the best Young Guns, and probably will be one of the best rookies. Ooh, those are pretty. One of the best rookies in the format this year, like overall this year. So in terms of quality, seems pretty good. Nice. Stankoven right out of the gate. Let's go. I think he picked up, what, 2-3 assists opening night? So really good start to the season for him. Definitely going to be one of the ones that you kind of want to highlight. And yeah, here's the portraits of McKinnon. These are the most premium feeling portraits in a long time. Like, these look really sharp. The foiling's super nice. Not much more to say, but they just look good. Cool. All right. 3 packs in, and hey, I am pretty happy with this. All right. Let's go in. This is a breaking news. Oh, wow. This foiling is trippy. That is That is really trippy of Ryan Suter to 99. All right. Oh, what? Jesper Waltz set? Also? What is this Young Gun crop? That's kind of wild. That is, yeah, that's very wild. That's like literally three of my top 11, I would say, Young Guns. But, and then a Braden Schneider checkpoint. But that breaking news of Ryan Suter, which seems to just highlight there's a Quinn Hughes and Luke Hughes checklist. Oh, so it is Utah on the actual, they did get Utah in here. So that's good to know. All right, I will have to change the team pages. But that is good to know. I guess I could have checked the checklist, but I thought that they had it left as Arizona for some reason. But Ryan Suter to 99 on the breaking news. Not the player that you want to have in that set, but it just seems like it's going to highlight big kind of news and events. So this is 1400th game. There's a numbered card. Let's go ahead and put them like this. Man, if these Young Gun crops are this consistent, this box is going to be the box that you want to get. I really love Waltstedt's game. I think he is extremely, extremely talented. Here's your Dazzlers this year. Dylan Larkin. Not my favorite, but it exists. So, and the back's just kind of, it is what it is. It's a Dazzlers card. Fox on the canvas and a gaming FOV. So this stands for, if you're not familiar with gaming, field of view. It's got like 85%. Again, I don't know if it's different for every player, but yeah, just kind of different. Goes over like kind of stats from the player's season, stuff like that. Here, I'll get to the back of the card 1 second. Put the base cards down. But yeah, I don't know. Not my favorite set. It might be some other people's favorite set, but definitely not mine. I don't mind the A-line so far. The checkpoints are nice. The canvases, I like previous year's canvases a little bit better. The portraits are super clean. The Young Guns renewed, I didn't think I'd like. All right, so it is fully Utah. Let's go. I like seeing that. And yeah, here's one of those Young Guns renewed of Marc-Andre Fleury. These look super nice. Love the penguin in the background. You got the eagle, obviously, in the back of Ovies. But man, that is... These are super clean. I like them. I like them a lot. I think they're going to end up selling decent. Not like insanely well, because people realize that they're pretty common. Fedotov, 6'8" Russian netminder. Probably will be like a tandem guy throughout his career. But yeah, all right. I'm going to start just sleeving the Young Guns and going along swimming on the portraits, by the way. The portraits look really nice. But man, that's those Young Guns renewed are super nice. And again, they're going to be really common just because it is just a pretty common insert set. But another breaking news. So this is going to be, I think, just a regular parallel. Yeah, so the regular one, so the Suter is red. Okay, so the breaking's probably just to make it look like the card's kind of breaking. I don't know. So that's the regular breaking news. Gaming XP of Austin Matthews. So some of these are going to be a little bit tougher to pull than others, but yeah, it's essentially just like goes over some stats. And then a aimbots of Carter Verhaeghe. So very gaming terminology. If you're not familiar with like first person shooters, you'll probably be like, what the heck are the names for these insert sets? But that is where we stand. All right. There's a McDavid base. And, well, there's our Young Gun clear cut of Colin Graff. Not who you want to see. That's a good canvas, though, right behind it. But could be like a middle six guy, probably like a third liner. So not the worst in the set, just kind of like one of those dudes that exists and might turn into something. He doesn't have like a high enough scoring profile for me to get super excited about him, but at the same time, pretty like okay. The clear cuts, by the way, look really nice. Nice Olin Zellweger on the Young Gun canvas. And man, this Young Gun crop is actually really solid. Like this box, if the cropping stays consistent. By the way, Zellweger is one of my favorite defensemen from this crop. I put him at an A-. I think he has legitimate like top line potential. You know what? I'm just going to top load the Fedotov while I'm at it. It'll save me a little bit of time tomorrow. Actually, it won't save me time because I'm going to have to take them out tomorrow. And then Marat Kusnedinov for the Minnesota Wild. Another B-tier guy for me. I like his game a lot. He's got a bit of a more two-way presence than Liam Ogren from the Wild. With still some scoring pop to his game. So another one that I quite like. So that's like four decent young guns. The good young guns renewed. I mean, Fedotov is a 6'8" goalie, so you can't really discount him too much. But all right, it's kind of sorry, it's a little bit all over the place. This is a Gaming XP Speckle parallel. It's a Larkin. It's got the 10 XP. Is that the amount of years that they've played? I don't know. We'll figure it out at some point. Here's a co-op. So this is just two players like side by side. Be curious to see how different the bars are for each player, but. Yeah, and then another aimbots of Konechny. Looks like it's got 75 and 25 on this one. Was this one the same? No, this one was 50 and 25. So I don't know. I'm just reading on the back. I think it just varies depending on what player. So yeah. All right. The aimbots actually look okay from an insert standpoint. They actually have a bit of a premium feel to them. The Gaming XP ones just kind of feel a little on the cheap side, but it is what it is. And here's our Outburst. So are we in for an insane box one? You know what? Mitch Marner on the Outburst, we will take that. Anytime you get a good player on an Outburst, you take that. Another Jason Robertson on the Field of View and City Satellites. Matthew Tkachuk. These are kind of cool. These are kind of cool. You get the whole map of Florida in there. Yeah, those are neat. Cool. All right. So, pretty happy with box one here. We should have one Young Gun renewed left, and then a base Young Gun, right? Yeah. It's the only thing that I think we're fully guaranteed off the top of my head. Nice on the canvas. John Carlson. This is the 0809 design, and a Shakir Mukhamadullin Young Gun for the Sharks. Another has potential guy. So not the worst to get. Let's put those over there. Pretty happy with box one. There's a Shakir Mukhamadullin. Good offensive defenseman. I think he's got a chance to be a top 4 guy. I just don't know what his hobby potential is because he'll be in San Jose. I don't think San Jose is going to be particularly good for a while. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. Kyle Poso on the breaking news, Clayton Keller on the Gaming XP, and a City Satellites of Sidney Crosby. This is a little bit different. Is this, I guess, Pittsburgh at night? I don't know. It kind of looks like the sun exploding, you know? But I guess it's just Pittsburgh at night. Huh. All right, there's box one. So as we go on, we're going to speed up with the boxes because you'll kind of have seen all the cards. So overall, I really enjoyed box one. That was a lot of fun to open up. All right, I'm just going to put the base cards away and we'll get into box two. All right, box two time. So we're going to go ahead and kind of try and clean up the insert stack a little bit here. I'm just trying to keep them somewhat organized because I do have to price these all out for in store. By the way, if you are interested in any of the cards, most of them will be available in store. There will be some Young Guns that I'll probably just be holding on to a little bit just because I think their price is a little bit too low to what their value will be in the long run. So I'm looking at Bradley Nadeau being the main guy there. And I think Scott Morrow's got a decent chance of being somewhat popular. But again, he's a defenseman in Carolina. Both him and Nadeau are probably going to take a little bit longer to actually hit the NHL. So their popularity won't be as big, but I think there's some real big potential there. All right, here we go. Roman Josi on the Outburst. Co-op of Fantilli and Gaudreau. So obviously, unfortunately, we're going to see a lot of Gaudreau content because, again, set was unfortunately produced before him passing, which was very tragic. But yeah, on to City Satellites of Connor Bedard. Not a rookie year Bedard, so probably don't have to go as crazy for it. We'll put that in the regular set checklist there. But yeah, the Columbus Blue Jackets yesterday lined up their forward lines with the left wing slot empty. I thought that was a really good tribute for Gaudreau. Again, obviously super, super tough situation. Sergachev for the Bolts. So players that were traded, interestingly enough, are still on their old teams. Crosby on the canvas and Jack St. Ivany on the Young Guns. That Crosby canvas is All-Star Game, which is kind of interesting. They normally save that for extended, but maybe it should just be the regular base. But yeah, St. Ivany, I put in D tier. He's a defenseman that just doesn't have scoring upside. So typically with Young Guns and like players in general, they need to score in order to have that value. Okay, the A-lines might just be the regular parallel. So here's Nyes, Matthews, and Marner. Nyes is an interesting choice there. That should be Nylander, right? Suzuki and Marchand. So I really wish they would have put this scores in there, because that would have been pretty nice. But all right, and we have aimbots of Ovechkin with the math ain't mathin' on this guy. You got 95% up there, 45% down there, but it's Ovechkin. He does probably shoot that much. Funnily enough, they actually carry the different percentages onto the back of the card too. So, all right, next pack. Interesting that they got the Utah stuff on there for the base cards, but stuff like, it's just funny seeing, they got them on there, but yet Sergachev's still on. I guess because it's a team change and not the player, so it's easier to do that. But we have a Speckle Portraits. Ooh, these kind of slap. Connor Hellebuck. Those look pretty cool. Yeah, and one of my biggest, I think, sleepers for this set is Bradley Nadeau. I think this is going to be a Young Gun that you're going to want to stash for a little bit, because I think he's very good. Put up really good numbers in the BCHL, put up really good numbers in his first year of NCAA. He's going to be given some time to kind of, work on his pro game in the AHL level, because the Hurricanes don't need him right away, but that's a team that should be good and that probably will look to use him as soon as they can. So canvas of Kreider, Matthews on the breaking news. That is his 6th hat trick of 23-24. And McDavid on the gaming XP. Probably 10 would be the highest, I guess. So, all right. Ooh, that was a bad noise. I'm sorry for that. It's the bottom of the pack. Little end kind of flailing out there. We have a Matt Stajan on the Young Guns renewed. Matt Stajan? That's a choice. I didn't look through the checklist because I kind of wanted to be a little bit shocked by them. That one really shocks me. Landon Slaggert on the base Young Guns. Slaggert, I think, is just kind of a good middle 6 option NVC on the checkpoint. Nothing too special there, but again, you never know if Chicago Young Guns at this point, because if any one of them does end up developing chemistry with Mr. Bedard, they're going to be pretty popular. So Ryan Getzlaf, that one makes more sense. I like Getzlaf in the set. Matt Stajan is that one's shocking to me. Cameron Crotty on the Young Guns, another D tier guy for me. Just doesn't put up a ton of offense, and so that kind of is where it is. And then Bedard on the portraits. The 2nd-year portraits. I like the portraits. They're pretty clean. Look nice. Really all there is to it. All right, we got our Dazzlers up here. Jordan Kyrou. Alex Suck on the canvas, and a gaming co-op of Pasta and Marchand. So it looks like they kind of vary here. Let's get a... Where's one? Do they kind of vary the stats up a little bit? They're like varied a little bit, so interesting. And let me know what your thoughts are on all the insert sets below. My personal favorite one so far, I actually really like the portraits and checkpoints. I do like the Young Guns renewed. I didn't think I'd like them as much as I do, but they look really nice in person. So, we have an exclusives of Anders Lee for the Islanders. Nice one there. Joshua Waugh for the Montreal Canadiens. I really like his game, actually. The Habs are a really strong team in this product. obviously Lane Hutson is my pick for the top young gun in the set, just because he's very, very good offensively, and he's with the Habs. Borgen for the Kraken there on the checkpoint. But nice lead to 100 for the Islanders. Yeah, Joshua Waugh is a guy who kind of is one of the biggest risers from his draft class. Developed some pretty good offensive tools, so hopefully he gets a chance to kind of show those this year. All right, you got a canvas of Trevor Moore. Brock Nelson. That's a really fuzzy picture. I don't remember his young guns being that fuzzy, but still, again, these cards look really cool. I'm actually pretty happy with the way that these turned out. They look really clean. This is what, 13-14? Right? Yeah, that's 13-14, because that's the double young gun crop year. That's the McKinnon year with Nail Yakupov as a thing, and Brad Lambert on the young guns. Lambert's, I think, one of the bigger boomer bust players. He was really good draft pedigree 2 years prior to the draft. Just kind of fell a little bit, but has lots of tools to his game. Just hasn't really put it all together type of thing. So, all right, what's in this pack? We got something different. We got a gaming co-op in the Sparkles. Field of View of Kaprizov and an aimbot of Kachuk. Yeah, those are going to be the packs that, like, if you're getting a loose pack, you probably won't be a fan of, because, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't. I get what they were trying for. It just doesn't resonate well with me. Bedard on the breaking news. Yeah, these cards are kind of cool. They're very, very like broken mirror, which is kind of cool. We got a Tavares and Stützle on the gaming PvP, and then City Satellites of Caulfield. I need to probably update our break pages for all of this, saying that the gaming PvPs are just going to be a left-right random, because there's going to be a lot of those in a case, and doing a random individually for each one is probably going to be a little bit tiresome. All right. Box 3. This box has seen better days. It was the one that kind of was in the squished inside. So lo and behold, this is where the 1/1 McDavid Outburst Retro Young Guns gonna be, or whatever you want to call it. The update Outburst Young Guns. I forget exactly what they're called. They're super short print, so I don't expect to find one in a case type of thing. But who knows? Well, I'll keep track of it. Maybe we will. But for now, we'll just get a little Chris Kreider Outburst with a Jesper Bratt on the XP and a City Satellites of Jack Hughes. So, all right. On to the next pack here. So, gonna see a lot more Bedard pop out just because it's, again, another clear cut. Marcus Pettersson. Young Gun Canvas of Akil Thomas. Akil Thomas is a player that I really liked, again, in his in his OHL time with the Niagara Ice Dogs. Just overall turned out to not struggle to the pro game. And then obviously probably the most controversial young gun in terms of value will be Matt Rempe. You'll either love him or hate him. Me personally, I just don't see his value staying as high as it is. He is unfortunately a bit of a novelty player. Well, fortunately / unfortunately. Obviously, he's kind of got that cult hero status, but his style of game, being an enforcer, doesn't last super long in the NHL. And just worry about his health too, because, you know, it's a lot of wear and tear. So there's a McKinnon breaking news, co-op of Suzuki and Caulfield, and an aimbot of Jared McCann. There we go. Sean Dursey, I think just yesterday they announced he had an injury. Will be out for a foreseeable future for the Utah Hockey Club, which is a bit unfortunate. But, man, how about Dylan Guenther to start the year? Kind of on fire. Got a aimbot on the Sparkles. Lucas Cormier on the Young Guns. We got a card stuck behind this. On the Young Guns for the Vegas Golden Knights. A very talented offensive defenseman. Just is going to take the right coach and the right opportunity to maybe get him some shots at the NHL level. So, and then Mark Stone for Vegas. Honestly, Vegas is not the worst spot for a prospect in terms of playing opportunity, just because of how top loaded their cap situation is. So who knows? Maybe he gets a chance there, especially with Shea Theodore being a UFA. We'll see. There's what Bedard's base card looks like, by the way. You know, I'll just put that to the side just because. Probably pull lots of them. There's a Kuzmenko with the Blasty on the canvas. Kopitar on the breaking news, and field of view of Larkin. The one numbered card per box is a nice change to me. I always kind of like that about the old school Series 1 days. To be fair, it used to be kind of not quite one exclusives per box, but it felt pretty close to that. So right here's a Bobrovsky on the Young Guns renewed. He's back on the case and looks pretty cool. Gage Gonçalves, I believe, is the closest pronunciation for the Tampa Bay Lightning on the Young Guns. I like his game again. I think he is pretty solid. I think he will probably net out being like just a really good second, or not second line, like third line, kind of bottom six forward. But yeah, nice Gonçalves, BC boy too. Perfetti on the checkpoint. It's kind of interesting that he's on the checkpoint because he's not really like a physical player. And it's been like Borgen, Evander Kane, like players that are pretty physical. So, all right. Ooh, we got an 0506. Who's it going to be? Jeff Carter. The 0506. I wonder if they went with Young Guns that were popular in their year. Oh, and we have another Murat. So, one thing I will be curious seeing over the course of the entire case is how consistent the distribution of Young Guns are, because again, in previous years, you used to kind of get pretty tight-knit crops. Miller on the portrait. So for example, if you saw like a certain player, you could, like if you saw two players in your box, you typically would figure out what other Young Guns you'd be getting. But Murat Kuznetsov is definitely crossing over here. So Dazzlers of Wyatt Johnston. We got a Bedard canvas. See, I like this canvas a lot more than his Young Gun canvas, and a Caulfield Gaming XP. Just that classic kind of pose looks a lot better to me. I wish they did something like that, and then did the other one as like a Fanimation or something. We got a deluxe, yep, to 250 of Jason Robertson. It's kind of that blue parallel there. Chibrikov, kind of a guy with top 6 upside. And Cizikas on the checkpoint. That makes Perfetti in there just make a little bit less sense. Every time we see a new player in that set, it's like, really? But Chibrikov is a guy who has legitimate like top 6 upside. Needs to probably round out his overall game, but if he does, he should be a decent player. Middle 6 forward. So Bobby McMahon on the breaking news. First NHL hat trick there. Co-op of Kaprizov and Joel Eriksson Ek. And City Satellites of Elias Pettersson. Yeah, that is Vancouver at nighttime. So kind of interesting. They went with some that were like at nighttime, some that are at daytime. I don't know what the reasoning behind it was. Maybe it was the quality of the shot or whatnot. But I kind of like the nighttime ones better. Boldy on the canvas. Tuomo Ruutu on the, this is a 304, right? Young Gun design. Yeah, kind of different. But again, I like it because at the time he was a pretty sought after player. And I like that they're kind of doing some of that. I guess Stadium would have been, then that's why he's in there. Zach Dean. Zach Dean, I think, will be kind of a third line type forward energy guy who will chip in some points here and there. Nothing too major. There is some chance for him to have more offensive pop, but you know, kind of exists. Again, not the worst one to get. The one thing about this crop is that for the most part, a lot of the players should end up being useful NHLers. Pettersson and Beniers on the gaming PvP. Keller and McTavish. So you do have Utah on this. So they have switched over a lot of it to Utah. And then aimbots of Stützle. So that is fun to note. Box 4 time. Let's go ahead and keep digging in to see what we get here. So far, let me know what your thoughts are. Again, if you're interested in picking up a box or joining a break, we do have Links for those in the description below. And yeah, overall just kind of enjoying it so far. I like the Young Guns Renewed. I like that it's kind of got some players that, you know, you might have to learn a little bit about. As much as my reaction to Matt Sagem was like, why is he in this? It makes sense because he was a popular player at the time. So I think that's kind of cool to see. You know, highlighting players that are maybe otherwise a little bit underrated or forgotten, but were popular at that one point in time. So maybe we'll see Yakupov. I'm kind of tongue-in-cheek at that. But all right, let's keep it going. Here's Nick Foligno on the Outburst, Crosby Malkin, and Dobson on the Portraits. I'm going to go through a little bit quicker now just because we are at that point in the case where it's like, okay, we've kind of seen all the insert sets. So co-op blue of Kachuk and Sutsla. Is this going to be numbered? No, this is not numbered. Let's show the back here. Not numbered, but it is the blue. So these were, I think, 3 per case in total. Marner for the Leafs, and former Vancouver Giant legend, Zach Ostapchuk. I think if he makes the NHL, it's going to be as kind of a good third liner who's kind of a bit of a pain to play against, chips in some points, but nothing like spectacular. All right, let's move on. We have Decord posts first shutout in Winter Classic history. Tage Thompson and Austin Matthews and Mark Scheifele. The breaking news set's kind of cool. It's very Allure to me, honestly. The foiling and how like the quality of the card seems like it's out of Allure. But they've definitely improved their foiling. That's one thing Upper Deck has done a really good job of. Like, look at these portraits. These are really nice. Stutzla, Zach Bolduc. Bolduc I have as kind of a B- guy. I like him better than Zach Dean. Has some offensive pop, has some top 6 upside. Probably will be, like good scoring third line forward for a chunk of his career with the opportunity to move up in the lineup. But yeah, and then Hellebuck on the portraits there. All right, next pack we got Alex DeBrincat, Ovechkin on the breaking news for his 1500th NHL point, Kucherov on the gaming XP. All right. Raphael, Mr. Waivers, Lavoie in the base set for the Oilers. Bounce around on waivers a lot to start the year. Tavares on the New York Islanders Young Gun renewed. I like these. I do. I really do like these. And I like that they kept the back as close as what they could kind of, so like decently close at least. You know, they didn't do a totally different new back. I like that there's some attention to details paid there. So overall, kind of like those. Chibrikov again. And Braden McNabb just makes Cole Perfetti seem kind of just not like he belongs in that set, you know? I think we got an A-lines here. Yep, we got Robertson, Wyatt Johnson, and Tyler Seguin. Makar versus Kaprizov, and Matthews on the City Satellites. It's like the sunny places they went with the actual shots. We got something different here. What is it? It's a canvas. Tomas Hertl for the Sharks. Hertl for the Sharks, and well, that's a good Young Guns renewed. Mr. Nathan McKinnon. Good old 13-14 double rookie crop. Yeah, I don't know how well these are going to sell long term, but they look really, really nice. I'm glad that they did like kind of the same foiling as the previous years of what they were. Like they didn't do anything extra outside of changing up the background. And honestly, it's a good tie-in to do those. That's probably why they did the retro outbursts or the outburst remakes, because I think it's it just, if you're gonna have to kind of crop out the player anyways, you might as well have some fun with it. So and Akil Thomas Young Guns, again, I talked about Akil Thomas when we pulled his canvas earlier, but I think he's got some upside there. So FOV of Brady Tkachuk, McKinnon on the FOV, and Jack Hughes on the aimbot. So that is the pack that you want to avoid, I think. because I think those are going to be the worst insert sets of the entire product, but that's just my opinion, so could be wrong. Jeff Skinner. Again, was pretty popular at one point. Yan Kuznetsov and Timmy Stützle. Kuznetsov is a kind of just defenseman who will probably get some opportunity here, but not a ton of scoring upside. So he's kind of in that C- tier. And then Jeff Skinner in 2010-11 was a really popular young gun. So cool to kind of see that. Cool to see a different team highlighted. Yeah. Next pack, we're cruising along now. Marco Rossi on the Dazzlers, Aiden Hill on the Canvas, and PvP or co-op, of Stone and Marchessault, which is kind of funny given that one of them's no longer with the team. All right. Oh, one more pack. Thought that was the last pack. I'm tripping here. Did we get a numbered card? Yeah, we got the deluxe, right? Kachuk. There's another Matt Rempe. So, hey, 2 of him. Going to be one of the more popular ones again to start off. Over time, I think he definitely declines in value, but hey, people will be after him day 1. So, checkpoint of Shakai. And now that is the box. So, on to box 5. All right, time for box 5. So far, I got a pretty decent stack of inserts. My favorite ones, I think, are honestly probably the Young Guns from Nude are my technically favorite ones, but like from standard inserts, I really do like the checkpoints. They're pretty clean, and the portraits and city satellites I think are kind of like my top 3. So the gaming ones, not a big fan of. The breaking news are a cool concept. They're a little too much for me. I do like the foiling on them's cool. It's just like a little too mirrory for me. The A-lines are kind of cool, but not my style. I'm not a big fan of the Dazzlers font that they used. I wish the font was a little bit bolder personally. I'm just being nitpicky though. So, all right, let's get into the next box here. Getting Ryan Suter on that breaking news one is probably, go and look through the checklist. It's probably one of the worst ones. Oh, we got an Outburst Young Guns. These probably look pretty cool. Kind of excited now. Ishikov on the Young Guns Outburst. So that's what they look like this year. A little bit of a more gradient there. That's kind of cool seeing how they printed the card. So I'll get into my thoughts of him after I get through the rest of the pack. But Doughty Kachuk and Sebastian Aho on the City Skylines and Gaming PvP. Ishikov, Ishakov, I believe, is a correct pronunciation as I kind of work my way through that. Really lots of skill there, but didn't get really any opportunity with the Islanders, and so he went back to the KHL this year. Probably won't come back, but if he does, never know. There's a chance he pops. All right, here's our first canvas black and white. It's Lucas Raymond, pumping up the crowd, Mason McTavish, and a Cutter Gauthier. One of the more popular Young Guns of the set. Obviously, Flyers fans will probably burn this card, but still going to be a pretty popular guy. So I guess Series 2 could have Michkov too in it. Like Smith, Michkov, Celebrini. Could be a pretty fun little Series 2 set this year. Duchesne on the 1000th NHL game. Man, these cards are so weird. I just see my face in the mirrors and it's like, Gaming PV or FOV of Draisaitl and aimbots of Pasternak. All right. Moving on to the next pack, we got a Sparkles of Swayman. We have, oh, there we go. There's the best Young Gun in the crop, Lane Hutson. With Cutter Gauthier, that is wild. And some of this cropping is pretty wild, but yeah. Best Young Gun, I think, in the crop. Doing really well to start the year offensively. It'll take some time to adjust defensively to the NHL, but as usual for any player. Really dynamic. There's a Marner card as well. We watched the Prime Night in Hockey yesterday not yesterday, sorry, that was Monday. It's gone by in a flash. But yeah, we watched that, and he is pretty fun to watch. McDavid on the canvas, nice one to get there. Uyghur with the hat trick, and Verhaeghe and Kachuk on the co-op. So yeah, Hudson's going to be the young gun that you want from the set the most, followed by Stankoven. And then I would say, honestly, I really like Jesper Wallstedt, and then it's like Cutter Gauthier in that tier, but also pretty good players. Victor Hedman, man, that's a cool looking card. I don't know, the blue looks kind of sick there. Some of these just look a little bit better than the others. I don't know what it is. The Ovechkin one is just iconic, man. Justin Brazeau on the Young Guns. He's kind of just a good, I would say just a good third line guy. Going to be with the Bruins for a while. Plays a very Bruin style of hockey. Mintyukov on the checkpoint. That one's a little bit, again, not a player that you'd necessarily associate with body checks, but I can see it. So can see it more than Perfetti. I think we got an A lines here. It is, yep. Hagel, Point, and Kucherov. Kucherov and a Chris Kreider on the portraits. There's the rest of the cards. Yeah, at this point, we've kind of seen everything that you need to see. So let's just keep it rolling here. Have a canvas of Lucas Raymond. Oh, man. This one goes pretty hard. This Kopitar from 06-07. The no borders on this one is really, man, I like that card. That card's super sick. If you're a Kopitar collector, I think you're good. Like, the thing with a lot of these cards is you look at them and it's like, yeah, if I collect that player, I'd want one in my collection. So I think that's generally a good sign of an insert set, right? Like, you know, you see a player that you have and you're just like, yeah, I kind of want that player in my set. So, all right. And then Malatesta on the Young Guns. Has tools to be a very good player. I just don't think he's put enough scoring together to really warrant anything higher than that, like, middle six kind of grade. But all right, we have a field of view of Ovechkin, XP of Nylander, and Rantanen. The field of view is a Sparkles of Ovechkin. Next pack, we have a Ryan Nugent Hopkins on the 11-12. Man, I opened up a lot of that product. I'll open up a lot of 11-12 stuff. I actually pulled his back in the day. This is gonna age me a little bit, not really, but a little bit. Back in the day in Series 2, where you could pull like autographs regularly, Lilleberg on the Young Guns. I pulled his Team Canada's autograph and flipped it for a box. So I was like, yeah, really cool card. But Lilleberg is a defenseman from Norway. Hits pretty hard. Not a ton of offensive upside, so C-, but might be a bit of a fan favorite in Tampa type of thing. So Evan Bouchard on the Dazzlers with a Pasta on the canvas and a Marner Caulfield on the PvP. Yeah, I wish with the PvP that they just put the actual score of the game that it was from on there. I know it's like just a little bit of extra work, but just that little bit of touch, you know? Ooh, red portraits. Oh, these are clean. Or is this numbered? Yeah, to 99. We got a Crozier on the Young Guns. It is Crozier. Again, same thing as Lilleberg, kind of just a defensive defenseman who is not going to be the most valuable Young Gun, but might carve out an NHL career. I think Lilleberg will. Crozier, I'm not so sure about, but yeah, these are super clean. The matte reds to 99. I really like the looks of these. These are really, really nice. Put that in kind of like that pile. And a checkpoint of Austin Watson. So, hey, that's a pretty fun little box 5 there. All right, time for box 6. We are halfway through the case after this box. So far, my initial thoughts are that it's pretty fun. Some of the insert sets I like, some I don't. Some of the foiling is fantastic. The portraits look really clean. The red portraits in particular look super cool. The Young Guns Renewed are definitely one of the big highlights. I think they're going to be pretty popular from a collecting standpoint, especially if you, again, collect that player. Value-wise, I don't know how they'll hold up long-term, especially of like the top players. I don't think they'll end up being as valuable as what you think, but they seem pretty fun, so... And just as a note, we've got one base exclusives and 1 base deluxe so far. Those are always good to keep track of over the course of the case, because if you kind of keep track of them, you can figure out a rough estimate of the print run for the product. So it's based on averages. Flurry for his victory there. Bedard on the gaming XP. Sure. Panarin. I don't know why I thought it was Kreider. They normally do Kreider for Ranger stuff on the City Satellites. Next pack here. Got one of the Young Guns renewed coming up here. Tomasino. Brad Marchand. Kind of funny because the Young Guns are pretty rare. So, and a Graham Clark on the Young Guns. Graham Clark's best offensive seasons have come in the AHL, which is, again, good sign for player development. But again, at the end of the day, I just don't think that there's quite enough upside there to warrant anything above like a solid C grade. So a guy who, you know, probably will end up carving out a good middle or like maybe a third line role type of thing if he makes the NHL. So, all right, what do we got hiding in this pack? We have a Sam Reinhart, McDavid, and Draisaitl, and Kucherov. What is McDavid? McDavid isn't maxed out on speed. Come on. You got to give him more on speed there. Maybe agility more so than speed, but and Kucherov on the aimbots. If you're going to max something out, it's got to be McDavid's speed or agility, right? Am I crazy? We got David Perron? No, TJ Oshie on the Young Guns renewed. Looks pretty cool. Luca Delbel Belouz. Again, another player in Columbus. Columbus has one of those prospect pools that's pretty deep, but has a lot of like mid, a little bit of chipping on the top of that guy. Not the worst, but a lot of like mid, really good players, not a ton of like super high-end talent, but Delbel Belouz should carve out an NHL career. Probably as like a third line scoring forward. I like his game enough to be like, yeah, he's a good player. So I gave him, I believe, a B- in my grade. So by the way, if you're wondering about the grades, it's just referring to our Young Guns review. I will leave a link in the description below to that. I'll try and add a card on screen at about this time point. I just have to, you know, remember to do that because it's going to be a bit of a longer video. Kadri on the Dazzlers, Hyman on the Oilers, and Caulfield on the Gaming FOV. If I haven't done that, by the way, like leave a card or whatever, feel free to comment below and just be like, hey, you forgot this. But I will do my best. We got a population count to 500 of Tristan Jarry. I wonder if this is going to count as our numbered card. Sam Colangelo on the Young Guns. Colangelo is a kind of just decent forward. I think he's going to get buried in the Ducks prospect pool a little bit, but he is a winger, not a center, which is good for him. I think ultimately he nets out as kind of like a good, you know, bottom six, like third line guy again. And the last card there was a Charlie Coyle checkpoints. So that looks like an outburst of a horizontal card. Kairu for the Blues. A Wyatt Johnson on the Gaming XP. It looks like that's just the amount of years that they've played or seasons. So kind of cool. I don't know. It's the Gaming XP kind of feels like an MVP insert set to me. Just like needs a little bit more premium flash to it. There's a Pasta black and white. That was pretty cool. Young Guns canvas. Nice little horizontal one. Maverick Bork. I really like Maverick Bork. I think he got activated yesterday for the Stars. He was injured to start the year, but should be good to go. I like his game. I think he led the AHL in scoring as a 21-year-old, which is pretty wild, pretty impressive to do. So lots of good things for him, I think, like legit top 6 upside. Kyle McLean on the Young Guns. But yeah, I think he's going to be thrust into a role to kind of help replace Joe Pavelski, which again bodes well for his value if he's going to be put in a role that you're replacing someone who is relied upon as heavily as Joe Pavelski. And Kyle McLean is just kind of a depth forward. He's going to get opportunities on the island just because they don't have a ton of prospects. So I think I gave him a C or C-. Bratt, Meyer, and Hughes on the A-lines, Robertson and Hintz, and a Matthews on the aimbot. Yeah, the aimbots are not my favorite insert set at all. But they're better than the gaming PvP cards. I'll give them that. Brady McNabb on the checkpoint. Here's a really good defenseman, Olin Zellweger. Absolutely lit up the WHL, then moved to the pro game and looked really good. Looked really good in his NHL games. He played about a quarter of a season last year, so Aho on the portraits. I gave him an A-. Kind of like has the potential to maybe be a top 10, top 15 defenseman in the league type of thing. But yeah, Anaheim's got a lot of really good prospects. If they all put it together, that's going to be one scary team. Here's a Slavkovsky on the canvas. Korchinski on the breaking news. And a gaming thing of Pasternak. All right. We are moving on here. We have a checklist, don't we? Roman Josi on the Young Guns. Kind of funny because at the time he wouldn't have been one of the more popular ones, but hindsight is one of the more popular ones. So Gauthier and Stankoven are your checklist. Again, usual comments about checklists. They are one of my least favorite ones in the set just because they tend to have the lowest value. I'd just rather have any other young gun than that. And Kotkaniemi on the checkpoint. That makes sense. He is a pretty good checking forward, so yeah. All right, box 7 time. Halfway point. I think I'm pretty happy so far with that. It did seem like the population count counted for our numbered card, which makes sense. It is technically numbered. But let's see. What do we still have from a case standpoint? Black and white Young Gun canvas. We have a pink Dazzler still. We have a couple of the like gaming card and the blue parallels. I think we've only hit one so far. So that pack's upside down. Unless I just grabbed it wrong, but. All right, box 36. 136 on this guy. Here we go. It's another Bedard base card. Mark Scheifele, Ethan Del Mastro, and Jack Hughes on the portrait. So there's a Scheifele one. And I think these are going to be pretty well collected. I think they go up to 13-14. So there's no McDavid one in this set, but I think people are still going to be pretty happy with some of the players. Del Mastro, by the way, has potential to be kind of a top 4 guy. I just don't know if he has the offensive pop to demand secondary market value. So I gave him, I believe, a C+, just because, again, he could get an opportunity and run with it in Chicago. So Dazzlers of Marner, Nylander on the blurry canvas, and then Chuck and Stützle on the gaming co-op. So co-op is teammates, PvP is obviously against another player, XP is how many years they've been in the league, and then field of view, I forget what field of view is, honestly. They're all just slightly different. Leo Carlson, first NHL hat trick, Uyghur Hughes, and aimbots of Kaprizov. Another one where the math ain't mathin', 65 and 75%. It would have been cool on the aimbots if it actually showed, I don't know if they have the data, but it would have been cool if they showed what their shot percentage, like what their shooting percentage is in certain ranges. And that was in Kadri. There's a couple of Leafs in this. Brendan Brisson. Brendan Brisson is, I think, one of in the biggest kind of prove it years at this point. He stalled a little bit last year. Still has legit top 6 upside. I just think it's more second line upside rather than anything else at this point. Obviously, he can prove me wrong. But definitely a big make or break it year. By the way, there's an Ovechkin on the checkpoints checking JT Miller there. And no longer a Canuck, Ilya Mikheyev. But yeah, I think he's got a good enough game. His offensive production stalling out last year kind of sucked. But in terms of like his NHL level production, it was okay. So it's kind of one of those like, it's fine. Tuck on the Outburst. Co-op of Larkin and DeBrincat and Jason Robertson on the Satellites. There's a lot of inserts. So, probably have binders of this still left over if you're at the Langley card show. Ooh, here's our pink Dazzlers. Chris Kreider on the pink. I like the pink a little bit better than the blue, but the font just bugs me. Simon Nemec, and then here's an Ishakov. He had a really, really cool shootout goal. I suggest you go look it up. It's actually really impressive. A nice little between the legs thing last year. So, yeah, and lots of skill there. Just didn't really get an opportunity with the big club, and kind of just like, okay, I kind of just want to go back. So he went back to Russia. Really interesting development path, though. Pop count 500 of Panarin for the Rangers. Graf on the Young Guns. And McAvoy on the checkpoint. That's a really good face there. I think, is that Brendan Lemieux maybe? Or I don't know. Maybe. But 2 pop count 500s before we hit a pop count 1000. That's pretty interesting. They're on the same acetate stock, which is a much improved change from the first year that they did them. Oshie on the breaking news. Eklund and Terry, and then Clayton Keller. This one's pretty funny because it's Utah now. So, that's I think that is actually going to end up, end up being Utah? I don't think that's Arizona, even though it kind of looks like Sun City, I think is what it's called, but I'd be curious afterwards. So if you're from Utah, let me know. Definitely interrupted their plans in making the cards and the design, so it wouldn't shock me if it's a little bit different. Sharon Govich, Claude Giroux. It's always funny, man, seeing some of the older players now with their young face when they got their Young Guns. Here's another Gonçalves. Gonçalves is a pretty solid player. There we go. Did I miss a card there? I don't think I did. No, it's an Oshie. And Gonçalves, we already went over him. Who haven't we pulled yet? We haven't pulled Frank Nazar. We haven't pulled a base Maverick Bork. We haven't pulled a base Gavin Brindley. Arshdeep Baines. I want to pull some Arshdeep Baines, man. He's going to be really popular in Vancouver. McCann Beniers, Quinn Hughes, and Pedersen. Although Pedersen's not really aimbotting right now. Hopefully it comes back, so I believe in him. I think he'll bounce back. He's just kind of struggling a little bit. City Satellites on the Sparkles of Matthews. I do wish the background was sparkly. Here's another Cutter Gauthier. And a Elias Pettersson on the portraits. There's PD portraits. And last pack here of box 7. Yeah, box 7. It's like an A-Lines. Makar. A-Lines for the Islanders. Nelson, Horvat, and Barzell. And McKinnon on the Gaming XP. All right. That's box 7 down. Let's move on to box number 8. All right. Box 8. Let's see what it's got in store. Yep. So far, I mean, nothing insane out of the case, I would say. Just some cool looking cards. The Hudson's nice. Honestly, the 1 numbered card per box feels a lot better. Value-wise, again, back when it's back at kind of like normal price now, I think it's a pretty fun rip, especially relative to some of the 23-24 stuff. I think the rookie crop's actually pretty solid. Is a single young'un going to pay for your box? Maybe Hutson, but I don't know. It's pretty fun, which is nice. It's a very fun collectible set. Ooh, here's another. Let's go! Logan Stankoven on the Young Gun Outburst. That's huge. That's a big pull. That's we can move the Ovechkin down, even though that Ovechkin's a really cool backdrop, because you just know what the card is by looking at it. I don't know, it's one of those iconic designs where you just know. But Stankoven on the Outburst. Probably, I mean, I would say the second best one to get. So we'll give him his own stand. We will give him his own little stand there out above, watching over the Outburst Young Guns, or not the Outburst, Gaming Co-op of McCann and Beniers, and then Eichel on the City Satellites. But hey, nice little Stankoven there. I mean, I'm thrilled with that. Jeannot for the Bolts, Garland for the Canucks, and Logan Mailloux. Logan Mailloux is a defenseman who, I don't like comp-wise. The Leafs fans will probably get a Jake Gardiner comp because, like, has decent offensive tools, but will make some gaffes that just make you really frustrated. I put him in the C+ tier. He's probably like a C++, B-, guy, like right in between those tiers. The main reasoning behind that, though, is that I just don't see him in Montreal specifically getting the opportunity that he needs to put up the points that he needs to, because I think Hutson's going to be power play 1, and then you're going to have Gooley or Reinbacher as your power play 2 guy. So that is why he kind of ranked there. Clutterbuck, Trouba Hughes, and aimbots of McDavid. So, all right, moving forward. I'd like to see one of those retro super short print Young Guns. That'd be pretty cool. City Satellites of Kucherov. There's Frank Nazar kicking around. I think if he makes the NHL, it's going to be as a top 6 forward type of thing. Really, really talented offensively. Very good skater. And again, the usual caveat is that if any player has top 6 potential upside and they play alongside Connor Bedard, their value is just going to go up because Connor Bedard is a very, very good hockey player. So, all right, what do we got? Ridley Gregg taking a slap shot. Demko on the 100th career NHL win. Larkin on the XP. Yeah, those the breaking news are very. I keep on looking at them and it's like, man, I'm opening up a lure. It's kind of funny. I'd like to see a numbered Young Guns. Ooh, JT Miller. Okay. JT Miller on the 13-14 Young Guns renewed. And hey, another Lane Hutson. So Lane Hutson's in the same crop as Nazar. That's kind of wild. Who else is in this? Logan Mailloux. The Mailloux's, by the way, has got a bit of a soft corner on it, which is unfortunate, but we'll take another Hutson. There we go. We'll sleeve him up and top load him just because he's one of the top guys right out of the gate and long term. These will all get top loaded. Torchenko for the Blues on the checkpoints. They will all get top loaded and priced out and put in a box at Zephyr. So in case you're wondering where they are, they will be there. And for the most part, some of them might get held back. We might send some off for grading and stuff like that. Marchessault, Eichel, and Stone on the A lines. Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky, and Jason Robertson portraits. Yeah, looking at it, it's the bottom left corner. I think this year is going to be the big issue corner. Got a, I think this is Malkin coming up next. Burakovsky? Yep, Malkin on the retro Young Guns. Man, that's so cool. And then Gavin Brindley. I think a guy that has legit top 6 upside and a system that should support him pretty well. Just because who else? They need the talent there, so. There we go. Sorry, sleeves are being a little difficult there. But yeah, I like his game. Has legit top 6 upside, and anytime you have that in a Young Gun, always worth just kind of keeping tabs on them. They might not be worth the most day 1, but long term, who knows? Maybe they'll just go on a hot streak and surprise everybody. So, all right. Barzal Horvat on the Sparkles, Kachuk, and Kempa. It's like that 4th pack down. I don't know what side that is. It'll be the top pack of one of them. Is like a pack that I just would never want to open up. Eric Carlson, nice one there. Zach Dean, I think we already talked about him, and Cole Caulfield on the portraits. Zach Dean, Eric Carlson. Yeah, these are the Young Guns renewed are pretty cool. I like them. They seem highly collectible. Again, value-wise, I don't know how they're going to do long-term just because they are pretty common. I'd be curious to see if we end up with any duplicates from a case, but because if we don't, then it might be a little bit tougher to get, your guy. There's a Byfield Dazzlers, Mercer Canvas, and PvP of Horvat and Barzell. I don't think we've hit a single duplicate yet, and we're at what? Almost 3/4 of the way through the case, so. Ooh, to 50 on the pop count of Aiden Hill. Okay, that's a good sign that they're pretty common. Cormier on the Young Guns. And a checkpoint of Sidney Crosby. Sidney Crosby is a grinder, so it makes sense that he gets a checkpoint card. All right, that is box 8. On to box 9. Yeah, and then 10, 11, 12. Oh, we are almost done this. It's going to be what? Bit of a marathon here, bit of a movie. Hour and 15 minutes into it. Thank you, by the way, if you've tuned in this long. Thank you for watching. Let me know what your favorite poll has been so far. Again, let me know what your favorite card design-wise is. I'm a big fan of those. Again, the Young Gun Renewed. Those are really cool looking. I hope we can get something spicy to end the break too here in the final few boxes, like a good numbered card. So that'd be pretty sick. But overall, yeah, print quality seems good. Some of the insert sets I'm not a big fan of. I'm not the biggest fan of the canvas designs either. They're just a little bit too busy for me, but that's kind of personal preference there. The Young Gun design's just clean, nothing fancy. But oh, next. Oh, it has a sign by the Bruins, but next. He wore illegal pads in 2011. I'm not bitter. I'm not bitter at all. I don't know why that's come up like in conversation a couple times over the past week. It shouldn't have, but it has. But still, like, again, cool card if you're a Bruins fan. So Nelson, Backlund, and Barzell, Chris Letang. That one will definitely be for sale in our store because I don't want to look at it. Please come and get it. Aimbot's black and white? Okay, these ones are kind of cool. A little bit more foiled out. Pierrick Dubé, that's a new Young Gun. Kind of a... If he makes the NHL, it's going to be kind of like a third line scorer, I would have to guess. Yeah. So gave him a C, kind of just in that range. I don't know what his likelihood of making it is going to be like long term, but there's some reason to believe he can carve out that role. And there's a Morgan Geeky checkpoint in there too. There's a Suter again. There's Mr. Bedard and Nathan McKinnon on the City Satellites. Alrighty. I want to see a numbered Young Gun. Always want to see that. Ryan Reeves, Jamie Benn, and Zach Ostapchuk. Jamie Benn on the Renewed. Makes sense. Pretty popular player now. Well, like, good player now. Not popular collectible-wise. Like, other players are definitely worth more than him, but for that year, one of the better players. Kind of funny seeing his, like, young face. And one of those players that kind of emerged out of nowhere. So. Matthews Marner, Fantilli, and Tage. What do we got here? Regular Outburst. We might have one more Outburst Young Guns, Kochetkov for the Hurricanes. I think they're technically like 2.5 again, or like 2.4 per case. McKinnon, Larkin, and Kaprizov on the City Skylines. I actually can't do a City Skylines when it's the winter. Oh, that would be a really funny Easter egg. Here's a Gaming FOV Blue of Quinn Hughes, and it's just blue. Nothing like super fancy there. Bobrovsky and Frank Nazar again. All right, we'll take that. So we got 2 Hutsons, 1 Stankoven, but the Outburst as well on top of that. 1 Wallstedt, 2 Gautiers, 1 Nadeau. Do we have a base Zellweger? I think so. We don't have a base Bork. I know we have a base Lambert. There's the Av trio, Chushkin, McKinnon, and Rantanen. Kachuk, and aimbots of Jason Robertson. Need a numbered card here. Kind of due for one, if you ask me. We got Dobson on the Sparkles. There's a Mayu again, so 2 of him now. And a Clayton Keller Portraits for Utah. Oh, it's pretty cool to see that they got Utah stuff in here in time, so definitely. I forget when their logo got unveiled. I think it was, I guess, at the draft. That puts like July, August, September for print. That's pretty good turnaround now. Like, it used to be a lot slower, so cool to see that. Kucherov, breaking news of Jari, and gaming co-op of Ovechkin and Strome. Has this last pack's felt like it's been the numbered card a lot. Well, what's going to be in here? What's going to be our numbered card? Is it going to be a base? Nope. Zibanejad, did we not get a numbered card? Trying to think now. Zibanejad, Brendan Othman, and Slavkovsky on the checkpoint. Did I miss one? Did I miss one? Because it's I don't think the Hill was in this break. Is that maybe is the black and white count as one? Maybe it's because the black and white is a short print card. That would make sense. All right, so there's the Slavkovsky. This aimbot black and white. Well, I guess black parallel. These are 1 per 288 packs, so pretty tough to pull. Put that, I guess, there. So that's why we didn't get a numbered card in this, just because it's one rare ratioed or short or numbered card or plate. So that is a rare ratioed card. All right, box number 10, the final home stretch. Pretty solid case. 2 Hutsons. Pretty happy with that Stankoven. I mean, I'd like to see Crosby Young Guns renewed. I wouldn't be against that. You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't be against that. McDavid Outburst Young Guns would also be pretty nice, but I think that's asking for too much at this point. So, but this is the right serial number. It's 31. That is generally my lucky serial number. So, generally my lucky serial number. All righty. Cooley on the breaking news, first NHL point, Byfield on the gaming EXP, Brat on the portraits. Kind of in the groove with this product now. It's like, okay, I know what more or less is coming up, but still pack to pack, there's lots of variation at least, which is nice. Demko, oh, that's a sick picture. Ryan O'Reilly for the Avalanche on the Young Guns, and Jason Pollan for the Avalanche on the Young Guns. Pollan, I think, is a player that just doesn't have quite the offensive pop needed to really kind of get through to hobby value wise. I probably should have put him in C-. I put him in D tier, but yeah. And obviously O'Reilly. That's the other thing with these Young Guns renewed sets, is it's going to give some teams that, like, some upside for teams that wouldn't necessarily have it in the set, like the Penguins, for example. You're going to be pretty happy if you get the Crosby one. I believe that Crosby's got to be in the set, right? Hughes and Trouba on the Speckle, Aho and Svechnikov, aimbots of Crosby. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Get to go through kind of the years of Young Guns and see some of the top players for the time frame, which I'm always a fan of. Here's a Sparkles aimbots of Jack Hughes. There's our first Maverick Bork Young Gun. Obviously got the canvas earlier, but nice get on the base. Some of these sleeves are a little bit difficult for some reason. There we go. Oh, it's because a lot of the corner. Watch out for those bottom left corners. Demko. for the Canucks. I might start actually sleeving them the opposite way. So they just seem to be snagging just a little bit. Canvas checklist of Caulfield and Bedard. A-lines of Gaudreau, Fantilli, and Marchenko. And Zetterlund and Eichel on the gaming PvP. Probably one of the most wild gaming PvPs because it's like Jack Eichel and Fabian Zetterlund? I mean, I like Zetterlund as a player, but, you know, not a household name. Nicholas Backstrom. Oh, man, that with the capital in front there, that's kind of cool. Scott Morrow, really good offensive defenseman. I don't know hobby value-wise how good he's going to end up being, but he should end up getting some power play time. There's a Vinny Desharnais, by the way. Should end up getting some power play time. And like his game, I put him as a B-, which is a pretty good grade for a defenseman. I just don't know how high the limit is for him type of thing. So Joe Pavelski. There we go. With a James Malatesta and probably Kaprizov portraits in behind. Probably a Kaprizov portraits in behind, my guess. There we go. Mr. Kaprizov. So no base variations yet either that I am aware of. Dazzlers of Dylan Strome, Canvas of Malkin, and Jack Hughes on the FOV. Ooh, my voice is starting to go a little bit. I guess it's been about an hour and a half of talking, so that makes a little bit of sense. Obviously, there'll be a little bit less time because there'll be some cuts, but Deluxe of Eric Cernak. Ogren on the Young Guns. That's one that we haven't seen. I put him in B-. I think between him and Kuznetsov, I think he's more likely to have a higher scoring upside. And Cousins on the checkpoint. I just think he has less of a floor, and I honestly think Kuznetsov's more likely to work his way into a top 6 role because of his two-way prowess. So, right. Ooh, another Young Gun outburst. Let's go. Sam Colangelo. Not the best one, but we'll take a third. We will absolutely take a third. Anytime you beat the odds on something, always happy with that. FOV of Forsberg and Kadri on the satellites. And just some more base cards. All right, 2 packs to go here. That's our third numbered base cards. It'd be nice if you get 4 per box, I think. Like 3 in a Young Gun would be ideal to me. Eklund and Troy Terry. Frank Nazar on the Young Gun canvas. That's a good one. And Mason Morelli. Morelli is a kind of just congratulations on making it to the NHL. Really impressive accomplishment. But at the end of the day, doesn't have a ton of upside from a collectability standpoint. But one of those guys just grinded his way up. So Frank Nazar, though, good Young Gun canvas to get. We've actually did pretty good on the Young Gun canvases. Actually, the Young Gun canvas set in general is pretty strong in this, so didn't really hold anyone back, which is, again, nice to see. So, oh, this could be different. Gaming PvP green to 199 of Barzell and Letang. So, that's a second numbered card, Makar and Kachuk and Aimbots of Braden Point. That's a bonus card, actually, because we got some extra card in there. Cool. All right. Box 10 had a little bit of a surprise in it. Box 11, what do you got? What does box 11 have in store for us? I am going to call a Bradley Nadeau Young Guns of the exclusives variety. Did I not get the sticker? Please stand by. Technical difficulties. I couldn't cut a box properly. All right. We are opened up. We are opened up. I am very excited to see it. I'm actually very curious to see how well Hutson sells over. That's 1 second. Sorry, I just had a spider drop on my head, which is kind of, you know, weird. All right, next pack. Let's see what's in here though. Maybe the spider's coming to give me luck. All right, we want to see a numbered Young Guns before the end of this. That's really all I want to see left. Cam Ward with a Kyle McLean and a Robert Thomas. Because he's so smooth. Gone through over 100 sleeves so far. Just a few sleeves. Again, Cam Ward, just solid goalie throughout most of his career. Nothing insane. I mean, his Stanley Cup run was pretty insane. Just can't forget about that. Blue Dazzlers of Jari, Canvas of Caden Gooley, and PvP of Clayton Keller for Utah. For the Utahs. It's gonna take me a while to adjust to calling them Utah. Korchinski, another deluxe, which is good to see. Josh Doan. Okay, so they do have Utah. On the checklist, I believe he was listed actually as Arizona. So they did change it in between making the checklist and the actual product. But I would say that Josh Doan, he had a really hot start to his NHL career. I think he kind of fits into that, might be a low-end top 6 forward, kind of probably a third-line scoring guy, but kind of has just kept improving throughout the years, so never know. Never know. So that's 4 numbered base cards, 3 deluxes, 1 exclusives. That's good to note. A little bit more common than Series 2 last year. Panarin, Zibanejad, Trocheck, Reinhardt, and Alex DeBrincat on the satellites. Brock Faber, Steven Stamkos. So obviously you're looking for the top guys because those are going to sell well. Marshall Rafai, that's a player that we haven't seen yet. I gave Rafai, I think I put him in the C- tier just because I don't see a ton of offensive upside, but he is one of those players that could endear himself to the team that he plays for, just given his style of play is a little bit more hard-nosed. So given that he plays for the Leafs, could be a bit of a plus Young Gun to get. You never know, though. Ultimately, he's kind of used as a 7th defenseman right now, so upside, I would say, is limited. PvP Sparkles, Co-op, and Aimbot. At this point, the PvPs are kind of like next card. Same with the Co-ops. They're just all like, okay, next card. I've seen it. Jackson Lacombe on the Outburst. Ovechkin and Satellites of Kucherov. Got his empty net goal, the second empty net goal the other day. Just camping at the blue line. Sorry, if you're playing video games, you'd be mad at your teammate if they did that. Kuzmenko on the black and white canvas. Oh, here we go. Oh, hey, Bradley Dundee on the Young Gun canvas. Happy with that. But really happy with this Arshdeep Bains Young Gun. Really like his game. Again, going to be a really popular player in Vancouver. Went undrafted in WHL, undrafted into the NHL, and then just kept improving every single season. Looks like he's gained a few strides this year. In case you can't tell, I am a Canucks fan, so know a little bit more about Canucks players than other ones, just because I see them more often. But yeah, like his game, gonna be really popular here. Really happy to get that pull. Not much else to say. Marchand, 400th NHL goal. Crosby on the gaming XP because it is his 20th season. Draisaitl on the aimbots. That's wild. 20 seasons for Crosby, and he still hasn't really looked like he's slowed down. Draisaitl on the aimbot sparkles. Lilleberg on the Young Guns. So the crops are, I would say, a little bit scattered. But you can get some pretty insane boxes so far. I have first box with Stankoven, Wallstedt, Othman. Who else was in that? That was a really, really good Young Gun box. And even the Hutson with Gauthier. I think it was with Gauthier in a box. It's kind of sick as well. Natchez on the canvas. Breaking news of Kucherov. PvP of Pedersen and Beniers. Both players who kind of struggled down the back half of the last season. So But I have lots of hopes for both of them. I think they're both very talented and should be bouncing back this year. Brent Burns, let's go. For the Wild. On the Young Guns Renewed. Man, some of these are just really nostalgic. I'm a big fan of that set. As someone who's like kind of collected Young Guns throughout the years, it's really cool to see that. I thought they were going to be a little bit cheesy, but they really actually well done. Matt Villalta on the Young Guns. I think he's at best a backup goalie, kind of is what he profiles as. So just kind of something to keep in mind. All right, it is time for the final box. Let's get into this. I would say our best pull so far has to be that Stankoven Outburst Young Guns. It has been a really fun rip. We've pulled a lot of really cool cards. I'm a very big fan of those Young Guns Renewed, Reimagined. I believe they're Young Guns Renewed, but really, really big fan of that set. It's a lot of fun from a collecting nostalgia point. They look really clean. They did them, like they didn't do anything too cheesy to them. I'm just, yeah, really impressed with them. Again, I don't know value-wise how they're going to be in the long scheme of things, but I think from a collectability standpoint, they're really fun, and ultimately, I think that's what matters. So, if something's fun to collect, man, people are going to like it. We had a lot of horizontal outbursts. Ryan Pulock for the Islanders, Satellites and PvP. Next pack. I'd love to see. I think we have a black and white Young Gun canvas coming up because we haven't hit one yet. Akil Thomas. All right. I'm happy with that. And fan of his game. Is it the best one? Absolutely. Oh, wow. This is a triple Young Gun pack. So black and white canvas of Akil Thomas. Oh, the canvases have some of that top peel issue again. So be careful with them. But Jesper Wallstedt on the Young Gun canvas as well. And then a base Young Guns of Justin Brazeau. That's a triple Young Gun pack. That's kind of wild. I honestly can't remember the last time I've had one of those, or if I've ever had one of those, really. Fun pack, though. Definitely a fun pack to rip open. Oh, well, we hit a Young Guns exclusives. Let's go. Liam Ogren to 100. A decent one. Kind of like one of those mid-tier guys. So I'm thrilled with that, man. That's 5 numbered base cards. That's honestly like really solid. Like really solid. I think people are really going to end up liking this set. I think it's going to be a pretty popular one. It's a nice ogre in there. I mean, we'll put up there because it's going to get recapped. McDavid on the breaking news and Quinn Hughes on the gaming XP and a Connor on the aimbots. So bonus card there too. Nice. We love to see it. Hey, got our wishes on a numbered Young Gun, so I'm pretty happy with that. SL Lindell on the checkpoints. Crozier on the Young Guns, and a Konechny on the portraits. So yeah, as we kind of near the end of this video, let me know what your thoughts on the sets are. I know I've brought this up a lot, but like, again, if you enjoyed this, feel free to leave a like, feel free to comment with your favorite polls. And yeah, like I mentioned, if this gets 100 likes, we'll upload a second case just because, you know, it'd be fun to do a second case, see how it kind of compares. There's a new captain of the Lightning, Simon Nemec and Bedard and DeBrincat on the PvP. That's Bedard. Put it up there. All right. What else do we want to see here? I mean, a numbered one of these would be... Oh, okay. Well, that's sick. Patrice Bergeron. Let's go. Let's go. We'll take that. Had some big Young Guns Renewed coming out. Matt Stajan definitely threw me off, but it made sense because he's, I think, pretty popular when he was initially released. So it is cool to see that they kind of stuck with the ones from years that, you know, were popular at the time of release, even if they're not really widely collected now, just because it's cool to showcase that throughout the years. So Drew Doughty, Matt Boldy, and Mr. McDavid on the satellites. All right. The home stretch. Gonna be a fun little recap too, honestly. I got another Young Gun canvas here. McCann, Drew Doughty. Yeah, these Kings ones look pretty sick. I will say they kind of didn't put... The one that they didn't really keep the most up to date is... No, because where's the Kadri one? Hold up. Where's the Kadri one? Oh, no. It's... Yeah, no, they're all like that, huh? So I just kind of removed that. That's interesting, because these used to have a... I thought they had a bit of a bigger bar down here, but... You know what? It still looks cool. I like it better with without it. It's just kind of like a full... It's almost like... You know what these are? They're almost like full arts from like... Or Illustrator rares from Pokemon, kind of. And another Young Gun checklist. My least favorite, but hey. Makes sense. It is flagship after all, so... Kind of got to have the checklist in there. And we had a triple Young Gun pack. Can't be too upset. Yeah. EXP Sparkles with Quinn Hughes. And then aimbots and a co-op. Yeah, it's that pack. That pack is the one pack that, like, every single time it's just like, I don't like that pack. Tarasenko, Cameron Crotty, and Carter Verhaeghe. I think we've hit all the Young Guns, though. We've hit... I'm looking through the list. We've hit... Yeah, we've hit all of them. Hit all of them. I think we've hit everyone, which is nice to see. You should, on average, get 1.44 of each Young Guns is essentially what the math works out to. So sometimes every once in years past, it actually used to be like a little bit rougher where you wouldn't get one of each per case, but the Upper Deck does do a pretty good job of making sure you generally get one per case. Kucherov on the Dazzlers, Robertson and McDavid, PvP. And the last pack here, I mean, hey, at the end of the day, pretty fun rip. Ooh, we got something numbered. Probably one of those 199 PvP things, but yeah, pretty fun rip. Oh, 199 XP of Adam Fantilli. So Maverick Bork, that's a good Young Gun to end on too. You know what? I'm thrilled with this. It was a lot of fun. Got a decent number of numbered cards. I mean, I think we ended up with, what, 14? Something like that. Got a Young Guns exclusives. Got a really cool Young Guns renewed right out of the gate. Got the Stankoven. Gonna be a fun little recap here. 1 second. Let me get this out of the way. Ethan Bear, by the way, on the checkpoint. But it doesn't have a ton of cards, but I know there's gonna be some collectors interested in that. So, all right, let me just get some stuff sorted out for the recap, and then we'll be back. All right, we're back kind of for the recap. So just some overall thoughts. Honestly, my favorite part of the set has to be the Young Guns renewed. Obviously, it helps when you're showing the Ovechkin, but they're a really fun bit of collecting nostalgia. Like, just massive kudos to Upper Deck on these. They turned out really well. They're really, like, they didn't make them too cheesy, go overboard with, like, the foiling or anything like that. They're true to the design of the year. Lots of really nice touches in here. I don't know. I'm a big fan of these. I don't know value-wise how they're going to do, but from a collectability standpoint, they're a really fun set. And just really want to drive that point home. Super fun set for me to collect as someone that's collected Young Guns throughout the year. Just so much nostalgia in that. In terms of the overall set, the base card design is what it is. It's not my favorite. The Young Gun design, I think, is kind of a cleanish, modern, retro look. So it is what it is. I don't hate it. I don't love it. It exists. The photography is always really good in Series 1. There's no real complaints there. In terms of some of the cooler hits that we got 2 Lane Hutsons, Young Guns, which is nice. Our clear cut was Colin Graff. It's in the background there. We're up with 3 of the Young Gun Outbursts, which is pretty nice. One of my favorite cards was actually this Jason Robertson Portraits Red. It's really clean looking. The Portraits Reds are actually pretty clean looking in general. We pulled this Ryan Suter Breaking News to 99. Not my favorite. Like, it's definitely... It seems like something out of Allure with the foiling. It's kind of got that cracked ice, but with a mirrored finish to it. I don't know. It's just a really different foil pattern to it than anything I've kind of seen. So it's a cool concept for the card. I just don't know if it's like the best fit. Canvas-wise, our black and white canvas was Akil Thomas. We've hit some pretty good ones there. But yeah, I think, this Logan Stankoven is probably our best value hit from the break. But the Liam Ogren Young Gun exclusives, these are super clean. The exclusives are really clean. I like just the little hint of red in there. I don't know. It really makes the card just look that much better than its base card design. So pretty happy with that. Overall, again, pretty overall happy with the break. Thank you so much for watching. Again, feel free to leave a comment in the comment section below with what your thoughts on the product is, what cards you liked, if you've opened up any. If you are interested in breaks or opening up your own boxes, I will leave a link in the description below. But yeah, anyways, thank you so much for watching. It was a lot of fun to do this. And again, hopefully we'll see you for another case. So take care and have a good rest of your day, and happy flagship release day. Take care.